Hey folks, this is David Smith at Correctional Officer Lifestyle. This video today is, I'm going to try a different type of video. It's what happens when you don't come to work. What happens, not necessarily when you're scheduled off, but when you just decide that you don't want to come to work, so you call in sick. What happens when you unexpectedly don't come to work? Now, I want to preface this with saying, especially in this time of COVID-19, if you are sick, stay home. If you are legitimately sick, especially if you have a communicable disease, stay home. But if you're just calling in sick because you don't feel like going to work, these are the possible things that happen, okay? You are not hurting your shift supervisor. If you're calling in sick because you're mad at your boss, you're not hurting him. The people you're hurting are the ones that work beside you every day, okay? When you call in sick because you don't want to come to work, somebody has to stay over to work your shift. The shift supervisor is not going to stay over to work your shift. One of your peers is going to have to stay over to work your shift. That causes resentment. Okay? That breeds resentment. When you are constantly having somebody have to stay because you don't want to go to work, then that causes a bit of resentment. Whether they tell you it does or not, it does. I've done this business for 27 years. I've seen the effects of that. Okay? If you call in sick because you don't want to come to work, specifically on a 12-hour shift model, somebody's going to stay an additional 4 hours, but after that 4 hours, your position runs vacant. And you have created a vacuum in the emergency response at your institution. That's one less person that can respond to help save one of your peers in an emergency violent situation, or to even help save an inmate in a violent, life-threatening situation. Okay? It is our job to provide care, custody, and control. Part of that care is making sure that we have the ability to intervene when their lives are in danger. When you call in sick because you don't want to go to work, you make another person have to go perform your job in such areas as counts. If it's you and your sergeant in that dorm or in that housing unit, and you and your sergeant normally go count, and you call out after that 4 hours is up, your sergeant has to depend on an officer that's already counted one unit to come over and count your unit. That leads to mistakes. That leads to errors. We won't have as many people counting. Therefore, you've got one or two people going around counting multiple housing units. Mistakes happen. Mistakes can happen very quickly, very easily. Okay? We are also required to perform searches because we have to control contraband inside of our facilities. You call in sick because you don't want to be at work. That can take a toll on the ability to search. If you do not have enough staff to go around and search the inmates, then we're not controlling the contraband, the inmates are. When you don't want to come to work and you call in sick, you might be having the day that you want to have. You might be going to the birthday party you want to go to. You might be going to the other kind of party that you want to go to. But what are you doing to the person that has to stay for you? What are you doing to the people that have to come around and do your job for you while you're not there? What are you doing to the people that are trying to control the contraband, but they don't have the ability to go out and do what they need to do because they're understaffed? And what happens when you are not the only one that decides they don't want to come to work that day? Or it's a party and you want all your friends there, so you talk your 3 friends off shift calling in with you, and the shift has gone from a critical level staffing to well below critical level staffing. Okay, not only that, I mean, if you've got multiple people calling in sick, let's just throw the number 4 out there since I've already used it. Okay, so now the problems that I compounded before, that's 4 less people that can respond to an emergency situation. That is 4 less people that can count. So now instead of having one person counting 2 housing units, you potentially have one person counting 6 housing units. You're compounding the issues, okay? Yes, this is a hard job, mentally. Physically, not so much, but mentally, this is a very hard job. But it gets harder when staffing goes in the toilet. I've been doing this job for 27 years. I have seen staffing at its worst, and I've seen staffing at its best. At its best, I'm just going to throw chow, okay? Chow, where we have to take all of the inmates out of their housing unit over to the dining hall, feed them, and return them safely to their housing unit so that we provide them with one of the bare necessities that a human being needs to have, the ability to eat. Okay? I have seen staffing levels where we have 7 people on the yard and 10 people in the chow hall to feed chow. That is ideal for what we got going on. I've seen those staffing levels. Those staffing levels are phenomenal. I have also seen staffing levels where you've got 1 person on the yard and 2 people in the chow hall. I pride myself on being able to run a chow hall by myself. I can. I have that type of rapport with the inmates. A lot of the newer staff that are coming in, they don't have that. When you put 2 people in the chow hall and 1 on the yard, anything that kicks off, you're not going to control anything. You're not going to be able to respond to anything. You don't have anybody to respond to anything. I've seen those staffing levels as well. Guess which I prefer? Okay, folks, I cannot say this enough. If you are sick, stay home. If you are not sick and you are on that schedule to go to work, go to work. Your fellow officers need you there. Your peers need you there. As a shift supervisor, I can go on ahead and tell you, I can run a shift without personnel. So long as I have enough to barely man anything, I can run a shift. I don't like doing it. I don't get any sleep knowing I'm going to come into that. But I can. But your peers are the ones that suffer. Your peers are the ones that you're hurting when you decide that you just don't want to go to work. That's all I got for this video, folks. If you like the video, make sure you hit the like button. You want to see more, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit that bell for notifications when I post new videos, and engage with me. Hit me up in some comments, folks. As always, there's no place for domestic violence in this world. 1-800-799-SAVE is the domestic violence hotline. 1-800-799-SAVE. The people at the other end of that phone have the tools, abilities, and resources to be able to help you if you are a victim of domestic violence. So if you know the victim, or you are the victim of a domestic violence incident, 1-800-799-SAVE, those people can help you. If you know the abuser, remember that the worst thing you can do is nothing. Say something to somebody, and if you are the abuser, there's help for you too. All you got to do is understand that you need it and ask for it. I am my brother's keeper. I am my sister's keeper. Y'all stay safe behind the fence. I'll see you in the next video.